On August 2, 2006, 32-year-old lawyer Robert Wone arrived at a townhouse in Washington, D.C. to spend the night with some friends due to some work commitments in the area the following day. The townhouse was owned by Robert's college roommate Joseph Price and was located in a well-to-do neighborhood. Price lived there with his partner Victor Saborsky and another roommate Dylan Ward. Around 10:30 p.m., Robert emailed his wife Kathy saying that he had arrived safely. Later, the three roommates claimed to have heard a chime indicating that the front door had been unlocked and opened, followed by a grunt from Robert. When emergency responders arrived, they found Wone lying on a pull-out bed with 3 knife wounds to his chest. However, the crime scene seemed unusually clean for a stabbing. There were no signs of a struggle, and Robert was found neatly placed on the bed with his clothes appearing to be undisturbed. Moreover, the knife next to his body was wiped clean of blood, and it did not match the stab wounds. However, a different knife from a set in the kitchen appeared to match the wounds perfectly. Autopsy reports later revealed several puzzling details. The angle of the knife wound suggested that Wone had been incapacitated and was lying flat when stabbed. Additionally, needle marks were found on his neck, leading to speculation that he had been drugged. Furthermore, the lack of blood found at the scene suggested that his heart may not have been pumping when he was stabbed, indicating that he was likely already dead or incapacitated. Authorities also found it strange that none of the residents of the house had been injured, their stories had inconsistencies, and no evidence of forced entry was found. Although a door was supposedly unlocked, nothing in the home was stolen or even disturbed. In 2008, Price, Saborsky, and Ward were charged with obstruction of justice, conspiracy, and tampering with evidence, although they were never charged with Wone's murder due to lack of sufficient evidence. The trial took place in 2010, and it focused heavily on the inconsistent statements made by the 3 men as well as the strange circumstances surrounding the crime scene. However, the defense argued that the prosecution failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the men had deliberately tampered with evidence or obstructed the investigation. The jury ultimately acquitted all 3 on the charges of obstruction of justice and evidence tampering. Despite exhaustive investigation and trial proceedings, the case remains unsolved. No one has been charged with the murder of Robert Wone, and questions about what happened on that fateful night remain unanswered.